And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Hello once again, everyone, and welcome aboard for another exciting hour of music, mirth, merriment, madness, and whatever else walks through the door. We've got a whole hour full of some great indie music, a new guest, we've got returning guests, and we've got a guy by the name of Jon Steele who's going to give us a track off his brand new album called Jane.
Jane, I turn my face to the sun, only to see visions of your face shining all over the city. I hear your soft voice echo through the sky. All these strong sensations make these great impressions grow on high. Sweet Jane, I wanna go back to the big city, back to the company of you. I just feel so happy when you are near. I know we met in a business point of view, but anything can happen when love dreams start here. Sweet Jane, when you are near I can't complain. Sweet Jane, when you are away I think I'm going insane. Sweet Jane, I know I don't know you very well, but I feel like I've known you my whole life as I tell. Sweet Jane, I would be happy just to be friends. Sweet Jane, I would love you till the end. Sweet Jane, I told you my story. You made a strong impression, better than fame and glory. Sweet Jane, to me, from you, you were God sent. Sweet Jane, I see the way you wear your beautiful blonde hair. See the way you smile and share. The wisdom of your occupation, I recognize a twist of fate. God sent.
There you go. That's Jane. The gentleman's name is Jon Steele, and he's a 38-year-old Air Force veteran who's a composer, has a passion for music, and he's been cultivating that since he was 16 years old when he started writing songs and lyrics a little more seriously since about, the last 10 years or so. And in '07, he released his first album, which was a collection of original music in different styles, from ballad to country to rock, through 19 tracks, and he demonstrated his talents writing into his songs motivational, inspirational themes that, kind of real-life situations. Today, he's back with a new release, the second volume, 12 tracks, and selected from his production, linked by a pop rock style that's rooted in his music. And a collection is from the Hermitage, Pennsylvania Museum, is now available on all digital outlets, and we want to thank Mike and our friends at MTS Management and Records for turning us on to Jon Steele and his new single called Jane. John Bon Jovial, what'd you think?
Oh, I liked it, and even though I know it wasn't a cover per se, I think that Lou Reed would have been interested in the derivation of a theme on Sweet Jane. That was the first thing that I thought of, and I'm not saying that as if Mr. Steele ripped off Lou Reed. Not at all. But it made me think of it. No. I think it was kind of a complimentary piece of music to it.
I agree. I selected music from this album because of its originality. It's unique, and I think the starkness of the instrumentation just accents the power of the lyrics. He's got really strong lyrics, and having very stark background to the lyric, I think really accents them. The album is called Compositions by Jon Steele, Volume 2. It's available out there now. And we want to thank you for joining us here on the David Bowers Awards, and again this week, where we just spend an hour playing new indie music and talking with the artists who make it. And we want to thank Mary Perry of Rochester, New York, accredited disability representative who underwrites the show on our flagship station, WRFZ FM 106.3, Rochester Free Radio in Rochester, New York. And remember, folks, you can hear us on almost all of the major carrier streaming services for podcasts. So check us out. And if you know someone that likes new indie music, turn them on to the show. Have them give a listen. We're free. We're here every week. We just love being able to do what we do. John Bon Jovial, how are things in Bon Jovial land this week?
Well, you can't really call it much of a swamp this week because we're getting some really just fabulous winter weather here in southwest Florida, with the temperatures going down into the low 50s at night and the high temps in the low 70s during the day, low humidity.
Oh, my gosh.
This has got to be probably, seriously, the best winter that we've had in about 10 years. And the long-term forecast is for more of the same, and that just pleases me immensely. How about what's going on out there in the stinking desert?
You got your woolies out yet?
Oh, yeah. It's going to go down to 50 degrees. I got to get my parka out.
A very nice winter. We're basking in the glory of a very nice winter here, too. We've gotten through the colder part of it, and we've returned to more nearly normal temperatures, hovering right around 70 plus or minus in the daytime. Night times, 40s to around 50, and it's really beautiful here this time of year as well. So hey, we're both riding high on the beautiful weather.
Indeed, we are.
That's a good
yes.
thing. It's nice. It's nice not to hear you complaining about your weather for a change.
I have so many other things to complain about.
Want to take a moment? Yes, that's true. We want to take a moment right now for a rather somber award, actually an award in memoriam, I guess you could say. A dear friend of ours and a definite friend of music in the world, a legend in his own time, Mr. Bob Shane. one of the founding members of the Kingston Trio, who awakened America to its folk music roots in the 50s and 60s, and introduced many who weren't aware of folk music to the artists that had pioneered it in our country from Guthrie on up to the more recent times, and laid the groundwork, opened the door for the latter-day folk stars, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, Judy Collins, and of course the groups that went along with it, the Limelighters, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and all of them. And we lost Bob over the weekend, and that would be the weekend that this was recorded. We lost him, I believe it was Sunday night, the 26th of January, 2020, for those of you who are listening to this in the future. And we're really saddened by the loss. It's something that we understand is going to come to pass for each of us in our time, but it still saddens us nevertheless. Bob was, in addition to being a musical visionary and a tremendous arranger of the music with the group, the way he was able to get the group to knit together these songs and create a style that was all their own is just a tribute to the man and his talents. And I was lucky enough to run into him by accident. I met him at a place that I was working in Arizona back, 10, 15 years ago, I guess. And we, over a period of time, got to know each other, struck up a friendship, and it's lasted to this day. And I'm very proud and pleased to be able to call Bob Shane a friend, because in addition to a music visionary, a talented musician and singer, he's also one great guy, as you know, John Bon Jovial.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bob was the consummate professional, but he was also a very gentle man. And I remember the time that you and I went over to his house in Arizona, in Phoenix, and we broke bread with him and talked for hours, and he was so welcoming. He was so welcoming, and so genuinely glad
he had to throw us
me
out. We got so wrapped up.
But he was so welcoming of me into his home. And it's something that I've never forgotten, nor will I ever forget. So, Bob, you're a good guy, and we will miss you. Just the influence that he had, as you said, on the music scene of the late 50s and early 60s. Tim Hardin, Phil Oakes, and of course, Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, just to name a few of the artists that were influenced by this absolute phenomenal giant of the music industry, Bob Shane, and we will miss him dearly.
We will indeed, and our sympathies and condolences to his widow, Bobby. And Bob, you may be gone, but you ain't getting away that easy. You will not be forgotten. Absolutely not. Thank you so much. Speaking of music with a folk influence, tie a little folk, a little country, maybe some pop, an Americana sound, and you come up with a group who call themselves the Jangling Sparrows. We're going to listen to them right now and then talk to Mr. Paul Edelman right after we listen to Follow Me Down.